for joining us. In order to support us to produce Clancy's Kitchen, you can donate as little as €5 or $5 a month and gain access to exclusive content. Just go to www.patreon.com/Clancy's Kitchen. That's www.patreon.com/Clancy's Kitchen. Enjoy the podcast. Nulla Conna na Dulla Chlawan, and welcome back to Clancy's Kitchen, the podcast, and this special Christmas edition that we're doing for you this evening. I'm just thinking as I'm saying it there, na Dulla Chlawan, Nulla Conna. It's one of the few words, really, not loads of words in Welsh and in Irish that are similar, but Nullag, Nadolig.
Nadolig, it's...
Nadolig, am I saying it right?
Nadolig,
yeah.
Llawen.
Yeah. I wonder how come that word, that must say something.
We've come across this a lot, haven't we, whereby, nouns are similar.
Yeah.
And, Nadolig and Nolig are similar,
Yeah. Anyhow, we're back again this time of the year. I can't believe it.
I know.
So this time last year, we had my brother Fimber Clancy from the High Kings on, and Colin Power, my cousin. And I think we looked into the tradition of the wren and how, so that's what we're looking at this evening as well. But we're not going to go back over the whole story of the wren. So if anyone wants to see that, it's episode 12. Right?
Of the podcast,
podcast, and that is Fimber Clancy and Colin Power. And you remember 12 because it's 12, the 12th month in the year, December.
And the 12 days of Christmas.
And the 12 days of
How
Christmas.
How can you miss it?
You couldn't miss it if you tried. So if anyone's interested, maybe you've seen it already. Those of you who haven't, check it out because, it gives the whole history and the background and how we as a family celebrated the Wren Day and how important it was to us.
But we can give a little reminder. Yes.
No, but what we'll do is just maybe play the song, the Wren song.
Indeed.
And have a look at that. So check this out. This is the Wren song. All right. So this is the song. We burst into the pub, man, woman and child in a convoy.
You can imagine you're sitting down after the hectic day that it was Christmas and you're enjoying the pub is finally open and you can go in for a nice quiet pint and you're sitting down and you're going, you're about to reach for the glass and take your first sip. And next thing, the door bursts open and in comes this motley crew and this is the song they sing.
There and the king of all Christmas Even's day was cutting the furs. Although he was little, his honour was great. Jump up, me lads, and give us a treat. So he was going to kill and all. I met her on upon the wall. Up me wattle and knocked him down and brought him into Carricktown. Trolling, where's your nest? It's in the bush that I know best. In the tree, the holly tree, where all the boys did follow me. Up with the kettle and down with the pan, when they give us a penny to bury the rat. We follow the rat 3 miles or more, 3 miles or more, 3 miles or more. We follow the rat 3 miles or more at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have a little box under me arm, under me arm, under me arm. Have a little box under me arm, a penny or tuppence to do it no harm. Mrs. Clancy's a very good woman, a very good woman, a very good woman. Mrs. Clancy's a very good woman, she gave us a penny to bury the rat. Barrels of pudding and buckets of beer, we wish you all a happy new year.
Woo-hoo! So there we go, that was the Wren song. And that was like, as I said, that was more exciting to us than Christmas Day.
Imagine.
Yeah. But we're looking at Welsh and Irish traditions around Christmas time, I guess, that are particular to Wales and Ireland. So the wren we covered there. Mm-hmm. You have some particular traditions in Wales that we don't have here.
Yeah, well, I think the common theme is people going to visit, on the Ran, as we called it, when I remember going on the Ran in Carrick. Mm-hmm. We all congregated in William Street. And you can imagine the buzz in the homestead of the Clancy brothers and all kinds of characters around the tables and milling around looking for something to wear, because part of the Ran Day was to dress up.
Well, it wasn't just part, that was the whole thing.
That was the big thing. We love dressing up, don't we? So there'd be cousins or friends in from down the street and they'd be going, who owns this hat? A funny hat or something, and they put it on. and they might put some makeup on.
Yeah.
It's very,
I'm sure a lot
dramatic,
of men lived
like
out
circus.
some of their secret fantasies, actually.
Yeah,
looking back.
Well, it is Christmas after all. So all of this went on, and then everybody jumped in the cars and then went round the country pubs. And sadly today, not all of those pubs are still open. But
Because do you remember a few years ago, we wanted to give our kids the experience of this, of what it was like, for us as kids to go out and, dress up, as you say, and go. And there was a cause to it as well. It was for charity, collecting money for charity. Yeah. But it was such a great buzz. And we wanted to give our kids the experience of that. And there was a good convoy of us. We were all involved. I think a good load of us went out and hit all the country pubs. But it just wasn't the same.
It's just sadly, a sign of our times, Yeah. But you do get pockets still.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that people still go out on the run and enjoy the day. That's really important.
Yeah.
But the segue then into comparing it to Wales would be...
You would call that, because that was Stephen's Day to us, which you say is Boxing Day.
No, that's not right. Not in Wales. No, it's not. That's the anglicised version.
What do you call Stephen's Day in Wales?
Dydd San Steffan.
Do you actually?
Yeah, because...
St. Stephen's Day.
Yeah.
So you don't say Boxing Day?
No, people would.
Okay.
But in Welsh, you'd say Dydd San Steffan, which is the same saint, right?
Yeah.
But and similarly, the traditions, the ran, you'd go out collecting money. On New Year's Day, you have Casglu Calennig, where kids would go round from house to house, and again, linking up, going to visit people and sing songs outside, and they'd collect money called Calennig.
And Calennig means what, collection?
Yeah, of sorts, yes. But then there's
a tradition behind that.
There's so many little traditions and old traditions, and some of them are still alive. One of my favourites is the tradition of Plygain, which is a form of Christmas singing, is the simplest way to describe it. And it is still held very, very dear in mid-Wales, in places like Llanfair Cyreinion and the environs. And it's the most beautiful singing, and often in 3-part harmony. But what's incredible about it, that each family would have their own little traditions and songs. And I've actually met people with old books that they had songs written in the Plygain style, and the lyrics and the words.
And that is specifically at Christmas time?
Yeah, a form of Christmas singing.
New Year, Christmas.
And usually like a really tight 3-part harmony, all in a cappella. And a lot of that Plygain tradition has influenced a lot of groups like Plethin. Do you remember the girls liking Linda Healy's singing and that 3-part harmony? And for me, it so brings me back to that area of Wales.
Wow.
And there's a great song, I might give it a go now, called Awn i Bethlehem. I'm not sure if it's directly connected to Plygain, but I know it's an old song that predates.
I remember this song because at our girls' christening, which took place in Barry, South Wales, my sister Aoife came over from the States, and she'd learnt it specifically to sing at their christening. Beautiful
Some woman,
song.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, there's another tradition which I think is really dramatic and fun and maybe a bit macabre, looking back now at the tradition. But it's a tradition around Christmas and the New Year called y Fari Lwyd, the Grey Mary. It would be the direct translation, I suppose. But the tradition was, again, going to meet people, whereby they put a skull of a horse, right, on a pole and adorn it with all kinds of ribbons and bells.
Now hold on. So back in the day, was it an actual skull of a horse?
Oh, yeah. We don't
So
do things in
they're
half
cruel,
measures.
they're macabre, aren't they? It's like the wren song. We
Yeah.
discussed this in the podcast last year, that you'd have the dead bird, the wren, on a stick,
Which represented the bird that
yes.
actually
betrayed.
betrayed the people of the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
It basically woke up
Yeah.
the
soldiers, the
soldiers,
redcoats, and
the
alerted
redcoats,
them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So sorry, getting back then to the skull
but
of
the
the horse.
Varilwyd, the skull of the horse,
It's a
all
bit
of this.
mafia-esque, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Luco Brasi, he sleeps with the fishes. But it's not actually. These sort of traditions, I believe, like the skull of the horse, sort of predates Christian times, I think, because it's more akin to Celtic traditions whereby a skull of a horse represented something, you know, and it might be scaring away, warding off bad
spirits,
and
yeah.
welcoming
Yeah.
good luck into the new year. But what
Yes.
would happen, you'd have these people going round the houses.
With the
and-
skull
and
of the
you'd hear
horse on a stick.
You'd hear the dog's going to bark now, I know. But anyway, you'd hear a knock, and then in the background you'd hear, well, the man in the
I remember our kids singing that, yeah.
Iofin am genad, Iofin am genad, Iofin am genad digani. And all these verses, that verse was asking you to let us in and bring the goodwill with it. And you'll have, good fortune in the
Yes.
future. And if you're left in, then you'd
Yeah.
probably stayed the night, and there'd be great crack and songs. But the Varilwyd song has all of that, telling you why you should let us in, because it's good for you when they go to different houses. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
But it's interesting
They had better
because
crack back then, didn't they?
they had better crack back
think
then.
they really
You know,
did.
if you took a horse's skull around today, probably you might be arrested.
Probably would.
We'll try it this year. Yeah.
No, maybe not.
But, that was a really raucous song, full of vigour.
Yeah,
and,
similar in a way to the wren. Like,
Exactly,
it's a similar
exactly.
kind of vein, isn't
But
it?
Only Bethlehem is a really sweet...
Oh, it's beautiful.
Shall I try it?
I'd love to hear that. It's been a while since I heard it.
So maybe the Varilwyd is older, but this is still an old song. But
Well,
it references...
explain to people, Auni Bethlehem.
Auni Bethlehem, we'll go to Bethlehem, it's a carol. Everyone's singing, Bawb Dangani, Neidio dawnsio a llaweni, jumping around and dancing and just immersing ourselves in the joy of the time.
Is there a town in Wales called Bethlehem?
I think there is. You ask me these questions sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
No, there are plenty of place names in Wales with biblical names,
I'm sure
obviously,
there is a
because it's a
Bethlehem.
religious country.
yeah.
Bethel.
Or maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Bethel.
But there's
Okay,
plenty
lovely.
of them.
Go on. Sing
But
the
anyway,
song. It's
Auni
lovely.
Bethlehem. Auni Bethlehem, Bawb Dangani, Neidio dawnsio a llaweni, I gael gweld ein prynwr credig, I gael gweld ein prynwr credig. Ganed heddiw ddydd Nadolig. Ni gawn seren un goleo ac yn serchog un cyfrwyddo. Nes y dygohan ni'n gymwys, nes y dygohan ni'n gymwys, i'r lle sanctaidd, lle mae'n gorff Mae'r angylion yn llawen i, mae'r ffurfa fen yn tywynnu, mae llir nef yn canu hymnau, mae llir nef yn canu hymnau. Caned dynion, rhywbeth hwythau. Caned dynion, rhywbeth hwythau.
Fred.
It's been a while, you know,
Yeah.
but it just came to me when I was singing that. I'm pretty sure I sang that when I was a little boy, when I was taken down to Pembrokeshire by my old folk singing teacher, Elfyd Lewis, because there was a congregation of Americans, I can't remember, somewhere in Pembrokeshire.
And they wanted to show you off.
No, Elfyd was doing a sort of concert to showcase folk music and traditions from Wales. And he brought me along. And all I had was this one song. It was around Christmas, New Year. I remember it was a frosty night.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I'd say I was about 8, 9 years old. And I had this song. But here's the thing, right? It could have been that song or another one where I took off my hat.
Right.
As part of the Collennig, the collecting
Oh,
money.
yes, yeah.
But
You
of
were
course
dramatising it.
Yeah, but these wealthy Americans were there.
Oh, this poor kid. Let's give him a few
They
dollars.
started throwing dollars and pounds back then into the hat. It wasn't that song I sang, actually. It was another one. It was a Collennig song.
Right.
And so I had this chorus at the end, and I saw these notes coming into the hat, and they were filling.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to repeat the chorus. And I went round again. And I think I did it 3 times. And Elfyd was going like, he's making more than me.
That's brilliant. God bless the Americans. They're great at tipping.
Oh, they love it.
And we never had that tradition here. You know, it is now. But I even remember as a child, you know, nobody tipped ever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it was only when I went to the States I realised that,
Yeah.
this is a thing.
But it was quite, you know, kosher because like the Ran, that was part of the tradition.
Yes, yeah,
So I shouldn't have repeated the chorus 3 times, you know.
So now, to keep the balance, I'd like to do a poem by an Irish poet, Patrick Kavanagh. You're, of course, very familiar with Patrick Kavanagh, famous Irish poet. And it's a simple poem, but to me it evokes rural Ireland and a sense of nostalgia and the excitement of a child at Christmas and the simplicity of rural life and through the perspective of a young child. And actually, could you do do something in the background?
Yeah, I'll
that'd
put
be nice.
something in the background.
Yeah, okay. So this is called My Father Played the Melodeon, and I'm just going to do a few verses from it. Oh, lovely. My father played the melodeon outside at our gate. There were stars in the morning east, and they danced to his music. Across the wild bogs his melodeon called to Lennons and Callans. As I pulled on my trousers in a hurry, I knew some strange thing had happened. Outside in the cowhouse, my mother made the music of milking. The light of her stable lamp was a star, and the frost of Bethlehem made a twinkle. My child poet picked out the letters on the grey stone, in silver the wonder of a Christmas townland, the winking glitter of a frosty dawn. And an old man passing said, "Oh, can't he make it talk, the melodeon?" I hid in the doorway and tightened the belt of my box-pleated coat. I nicked 6 nicks on the doorpost with my penknife's big blade. There was a little one for cutting tobacco, and I was 6 Christmases of age. My father played the melodeon, my mother milked the cows, and I had a prayer like a white rose pinned on the Virgin Mary's blouse. Keep going with that, actually, because I can follow on a song with that.
Tune.
Yeah, go on, keep going. Oh, the holly bears a berry as white as the milk, and Mary bore Jesus all wrapped up in silk. And Mary bore Jesus our Saviour to be. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly. Little bit pacier. Lovely. Oh, the holly bears a berry as green as the grass, and Mary bore Jesus who died on the cross. And Mary bore Jesus our Saviour to be. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly. Oh, the holly bears a berry as black as the coal, and Mary bore Jesus who died for us all. And Mary bore Jesus our Saviour to be. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly. Woo! Oh, yes.
Lovely, Róisín. Hyfryd iawn.
Right, so now back to Wales, because...
This is Christmas tennis now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. But it wouldn't be Christmas for me, more so than for you now, funnily enough, if it wasn't for a child's Christmas in Wales. Because, and I think you mentioned this in our podcast last year, that my father, every Christmas morning, would take out and dust off an old Dylan Thomas record, a recording of Dylan Thomas himself reciting A Child's Christmas in Wales. Now, don't kill me, but I actually dug out, because we did, I remember years ago, we did a Christmas show. Now, it's been many, it's probably been over 10 years, and I highlighted a few pieces in it for you to look at.
Yeah, I remember, and I think we did it. It's over 10 years back.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
It predates our time living here, actually.
Yeah,
we were coming over from Wales to do a Christmas show, I believe, in the Brewery Theatre.
Yeah, possibly
Fantastic
in Carrick-on-Shore.
theatre, we've talked about it already, in Carrick-on-Shore.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, as you pointed out, I distinctly remember hearing Dylan Thomas's inimitable voice as I walked down the stairs in Carrick on Christmas morning. And I thought, this is weird, because Dylan Thomas had this very unique way of reciting, which was like the old preachers, always starting up here and coming down to the end of the sentence. And it was A Child's Christmas in Wales, and I'd never heard it.
Yes.
I'd never heard it until
And I remember certain
Carrick-on-Shore.
excerpts of it. As I say, my father played every single year, right? Along with the Clancy Brother Christmas album, which you have in the background there. And that's one of the songs on it, actually, the Holly Tree. Yeah. But he would laugh at one particular part. I'm trying to think which. Oh, it was. They went to some. How the kids went and sang outside a house that a hermit or something lived in the house, and they heard a very frail through the letterbox singing back at them. And I think the next line was, "And when we stopped running," and my father would laugh just uncontrollably, as if it was the first time he had heard every single time. Yeah. But come on, please now, in your beautiful Welsh
and I remember
tones, give us a taste.
I think it makes it universal, but it's very Welsh, obviously, is his imagery and the pictures he paints of a Christmas day. And there's one, I don't think we'll see now in this passage, but one of my favourites was, there were always uncles at Christmas, and they'd had a few. Yeah. And in the afternoon, they'd be lying back, and he likened them to whales, not the country, but
or was it dolphins?
Dolphins or whales, but the blowhole.
Yes.
And he'd describe it as the old, uncles at the end of the afternoon, just sleeping there. And like dolphins, they'd be going...
Yeah. Yeah, it was brilliant,
so
wasn't it?
Those images, for us in Wales, you think, I remember an uncle like that. But I think it's universal too. A lot of people can, appreciate it. Yeah. So I haven't done this one for a while.
No.
But it's a nice one maybe for us to close on this year.
I think it'd be lovely.
Because, as you said, it's about that marriage of cultures. You were listening to this in Carrick-on-Shore for years before I'd heard it as a Welshman or a Welsh boy.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a go anyway.
Yeah, do, please.
Will I put some piano or something underneath it, will I? One Christmas was so much like another. In those years around the sea town corner, now and out of all sound, except the distant speaking of the voices, I sometimes hear a moment before sleep that I can never remember whether it snowed for 6 days and 6 nights when I was 12, or whether it snowed for 12 days and 12 nights when I was 6. December, in my memory, is white as Lapland, though there were no reindeers, but there were cats, patient, cold and callous. Our hands wrapped in socks, we waited to snowball the cats. Jim and I would hurl our deadly snowballs at the green of their eyes. The wise cats never appeared. Years and years ago, when I was a boy, when there were wolves in Wales, and birds the colour of red flannel petticoats whisked past the harp-shaped hills, when we sang and wallowed all night and day in caves that smelt like Sunday afternoons in damp front farmhouse parlours, and we chased with the jawbones of deacons the English and the bears, before the motor car, before the wheel, before the duchess-faced horse, when we rode the daft and happy hills bareback. It snowed, and it snowed. Always on Christmas night there was music. An uncle played the fiddle, a cousin sang Cherry Ripe, and another uncle sang Drake's Drum. It was very warm in the little house. Auntie Hannah, who had got onto the parsnip wine, sang a song about bleeding hearts and death. And then another in which she said her heart was like a bird's nest. And then everybody laughed again. And then I went to bed. Looking through my bedroom window out into the moonlight and the unending smoke-coloured snow, I could see the lights in the windows of all the other houses on our hill and hear the music rising from them up the long, steadily falling night. I turned the gas down. I got into bed. I said some words to the close and holy darkness. And then I slept.
Nosta.
Nosta iwa.
How gorgeous. Do you
It
know
is.
what? I think that's a lovely piece to leave linger for Christmas.
Because it belongs to Wales and Ireland in a
Yes,
way. Or
yeah.
to your island,
Yes.
your Wales,
Yeah.
my Wales,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
island.
And I think there's something in there that everyone can relate to. That and the Patrick Kavanagh poem going back to childhood and nostalgia.
Yeah.
How gorgeous.
Feeling Christmassy now?
Very Christmassy. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you all a very happy and peaceful Christmas, and look out for lots more coming down the pipeline for Clancy's Kitchen, the podcast and live show, because we're planning a tour in the new year.
We should say, actually, this could be a Christmas catchphrase for us.
Go on.
It's Nolig Honna from me,
And Nadolach Llawen.
from you.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care, everyone.